everyone, I'm Michelle from A Common Life, and today I am teaming up with Jackie G to do part 3 of her Homeschool Mini Series, and today we are going to talk about curriculum. I have 5 children, and all 5 of the children have different types of books that they use for school. However, my 4th grader and 5th grader, they do a lot of their work together, and so I'm going to go ahead and show you that. And then my 1st grader and kindergartner, they do a lot of their work together too, so I'm going to show you that. It's in this bin. And then here is the bin that holds basically everything that our 3-year-old, he's basically pre-K, I guess, or pre-pre-K, because he's just turned 3. So this is basically all of the books that he does while he's doing school with us. I will go ahead and start with our 3-year-old. So he just has some fun books that I found at the Dollar Tree. So this is not anything formal. We have a 1, 2, 3 numbers here, colors, and I think it's colors and shapes. Here's an animal book. Then he has an alphabet workbook, and this has writing practice in it. He has a same and different book. And he has this fun little book that I found at the dollar store. It is a painting book, and all you use is water to paint it. Oh, there's nothing there. There we go. See, you just use water to paint on it. So these are really great for him. And then there's some of these grab and go little play packs in here too. You can get these at the dollar store as well. And so the rest of this here is coloring books. Here's another book about colors and shapes. And then also just some books that I bought specifically for him for the 2 of us to read together. So this is basically what our 3-year-old does for school. Next up is our kindergarten and 1st grader. First, my kindergartner uses the workbook from the Phonics Museum. We do not use the whole curriculum plan. We just use this workbook. And our 1st grader did this entire book last year, and now our kindergartner is doing it this year for kindergarten. And it goes through and basically teaches you all the letters in the phonics so that you not only know how to write them, you also end up figuring out how to sound out words and things like that. So by the end of this book, you're actually able to hear sentences, you're actually able to read. So we are working on this along with Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. We are also working on first language lessons for the Well-Trained Mind Level 1 with both my kindergartner and my 1st grader. Now this is a book that is typically used for 1st grade, but we're using it for both of them because the beginning is just a lot of repetition and memorization, and my 5-year-old is definitely able to do that. So then both of the boys are using primary mathematics from Singapore Math. They actually both started in workbook 1 for 1st grade, 1A. Gregory, our 1st grader, finished that in less than 2 months, and so he is on to workbook 1B right now, and he will definitely finish this before the end of the year. So I actually already ordered him workbook 2A. Even though he's in 1st grade, we'll just let him move along with math. And our kindergartner, he is still definitely in workbook 1A. I think he's only about halfway through it, which is just fine because we still have a long way in the school year to go. Here's another book that they're doing together. It is the Beginning Geography book. It is by Evan Moore, and so this is a really great book. It says grades K through 2. So there are definitely sections in this book that are probably more suitable for a 2nd grader where they kind of just expect you to be able to write and read. And so there are a lot of things that I have to go through with the boys and kind of teach them how to spell out the words or read the instructions out loud to them, which is perfectly fine. So we are more than halfway done with this book now. Now since Gregory has already completed the Phonics Museum, he has moved on to spelling. And so we are doing spelling workout A with him, and this is going really well. So definitely, I really like this one for 1st grade. So that is all the curriculum that I am using with my kindergartner and 1st grader. And on top of that, we go through some sight word flashcards. So I actually have several sets of these. So this is one that I got at the dollar store again. So anyway, we definitely go through all of these and we do a lot of reading together. Now let's talk about the curriculum that I am using for my 4th grader and 5th grader. Now even though they are in separate grades and they are about 20 months apart in age, they are still doing a lot of their work together. So one of the things that we are doing that I bought, I think back in October I bought this. It is the Junior Analytical Grammar. It is a systematic approach to language mastery. I really love this, and it teaches sentence diagramming, which I know not a lot of curricula do anymore, but I really like this. I think that it teaches my children basically how words fit into sentences, and I think that's so important. It's going to help them be even better writers. So I'm really enjoying this with them, and what I do is I just copy out the pages and I put it in this folder. And so there's a side that says to do, and then there's a side that says done. And so when they've completed it, I go ahead and grade it, and if they do not master it, which Some people will say 80% for mastery. I say 100% for mastery, especially with this grammar. So if they get 100%, they can move on, and if they don't, they have to go back and do it again until they get 100%. Then something fun that I've included this year is this cursive workbook. It's cursive writing practice jokes and riddles. They don't really enjoy doing cursive, and so I wanted to pick out something that was a little bit more fun. We had been using the, I don't remember what it's called, but it was from Memoria Press. That's what we had been using last year, and so this year I thought I would just do something fun. We are also doing Latina Christiana, which this is an introduction to first form Latin. We did Prima Latina last year. Actually, we did it over the course of 2 years, and then now we're working on this as well. So they have their workbook for that, and then they also do their Latin drills in here. They have a reproducible page that you can use, but rather than just copying things, these are just like the 10-cent spiral notebooks that I got, and so they're just working on their Latin drills in this. For writing, we are using classical writing and Aesop, and so they are actually almost done with this curriculum, and how it works is you go through the lessons and you're basically kind of duplicating works of masters. This is a section from the Bible, but there's like Cicero and Shakespeare and you know, the Town Mouse and the Country Mouse, just all different kinds of classical stories or well-known stories, and then at the very end there's Bible stories. And so basically it just teaches them how to copy the master's types of work. And so they use this workbook, and then they write their rough drafts and their final drafts and their outlines all in this spiral notebook. Then they both have spelling, and it goes along with their grade level. So they are not using the same exact workbook for spelling this year. So we have 4th and 5th grade spelling books, and they do all their work in here. And then they do their pre-tests and their final tests in their spiral notebooks. And last but not least is their geography book. This is a really huge geography book. I don't know how many pages it is. It has, let me see, 352 pages. So I am not planning on having them complete this entire book this year. They probably won't. We'll probably pull it into the next year in the fall, which is perfectly fine because it says it's for grades 3 through 6. And as I said before, they're in 4th and 5th grade. So this is perfectly fine if we kind of just go ahead and continue it into the next year. I got these books for $5, which was a really great deal. And it goes through everything from, you know, simple latitude and longitude to all of the United States to landforms, then it moves on to the rest of the world. So it covers basically everything that you can need to know about geography. The next thing is our morning basket, which we do every single day, and this is definitely part of our curriculum because it covers our art, poetry, music, nature study, and history. So we do one of those subjects every day, and we use Story of the World for our history. So here's the workbook that goes along with that. And then for our art, we have several different workbooks in here. This is a really good one, the Great Artist book. I really like that one. And then this is another good one, the Usborne, the Children's Book of Art. So we use both of these and some other books as well to do art. And then we go through and read different things from poetry. This is teaching them how to write poetry, but then we also just go through and read different famous poems. Also, to go along with art, we use these art cards, which I love. These are also from Usborne. These are really great. So we have the famous paintings and the impressionist paintings. And then for our science, we are doing a nature study. I have kind of slimmed that down a bit this year. Originally, we were doing it every week, and we are basically doing it every other week now, and I've picked and chosen which things I want to do. So that has been kind of changed a little bit for this year. And then also we have some Shakespeare read-alouds that I do. We also will be reading through some type of chapter book. And so, let me see. Oh, and of course I also forgot our religious study. So I found this book, The Letter of the Angels, and it has stories from the Bible. So this is new to us, and we are reading through this. And then we also have in here, they're all the way at the bottom, Old Testament flashcards. So we're going through these as well. Here's a look at all of our curricula for the year. I have it all laid out here for you. And so you can see that homeschooling 5 kids does require a lot of books, because on top of this, we have even some more books behind me here for what I use to teach the children as well. So we have our Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons back there. We also have the kindergartner and first graders writing books, and we have some coloring books and things like that. So there's definitely a lot going on in our classroom every single year. Thank you so much for sticking through this long video. I appreciate it. And please don't forget to stop by and see Jackie's video as well. She's going to be sharing all of the books that she's using for her school year. I think she's changed some things up a little bit, so definitely go check that out. And don't forget that we're going to have another installment coming up next week of how we plan out our curriculum. And then at the very end of this series, we are going to be asking for questions from you. So today, if you wouldn't mind, please put any questions that you have down in the comments below. And if you think of any other ones, feel free to comment or send me a message. You can always comment on Instagram and I'll get some questions there as well. And then on that 5th video, I will go ahead and answer all those questions. Thank you so much for watching this video and have a great day.